Hi friends, it's Deanna here today, and today we are putting our sewing machine aside and we're bringing out our yarn because I'm going to be sewing up, crocheting this gorgeous colorful vest. So let's do it. It is very simple. It is a granny square with some ribbing at the bottom. It is super cute, super fun. Crochet it up with me. Alright, so for this project I'm using a medium weight yarn. I got this one from Walmart. I love my yarn, and I'm using a 5mm hook. And we're going to start by making a granny square, which we're going to make as big as we want it. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to measure how big I want it. And I'll give you my measurements of what I made. I fit around a size medium. And so you can go from that if you want a bigger, smaller, tighter, looser. So let me show you how I get started on that granny square. There's technically two ways of starting a granny square. You can start with a magic circle or a chain 4. I like to do with a magic circle, so I'm going to show you a chain 4 first. So you create your chain 4. And once you've got that chain 4, well, that was 3, 4, we're going to meet here at the front at the first chain and slip stitch through, and then you got this little circle here where you're going to work your stitches into. We work them into little clusters, and in that center circle here, see the circles right there, you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 clusters. So you would do the 4 clusters in here. Now you can start it this way, but if you know how to do a magic circle, I like to do a magic circle because then you can get a tighter knot here at the beginning, and I want this to be a little bit tighter, so that's why I like to do the magic circle. So I'm going to do that magic circle here, and I'm going to start right into that magic circle by chaining 1, 2, 3, and that becomes my first stitch, and then I'm going to do 2 double crochets. Sometimes starting with a magic circle is a little bit hard because it's kind of wonky, but that's why I showed you a chain 4. Sometimes that's easier for some people because you can tighten this magic circle, and I like to be able to tighten it later. All right, so I've got basically 3 stitches here, my chain 3 and my 2 double crochets. Now I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, which I'll be chaining 2 every corner, and then I'm going to do 3 double crochets. I don't have that extra stitch there, so I need to do all 3 of them because each cluster has 3 double crochets. So now I've created 1, 2 clusters. Then I'm going to chain 2 again and create 2 clusters by doing another 3 double crochets. Then chain 2, 1, whoop, slipped off, 2, and then another 3 double crochets. Now I'll chain 2, 1, 2, and now that I have 4 clusters, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to slip stitch into that first cluster up here, which is, I'm sorry, into that first stitch, which is the chain 3 stitch. I'm going to just slip stitch into that to close my first little square. And then I'm going to pull on this magic circle to tighten it closed. You see that? So I've got 1 gap here, 1 gap here, 1 gap here, and 1 gap here. All right, once I've slip stitched, I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and that starts my first stitch. And we got to do 3 of them. So we got chain 3, so then we're going to do 2 double crochets into that same spot. 1, 2. Now, on the sides, I only chain 1 because I want this to be a little bit tighter. So I'm only going to do a chain 1, and then I'm going to do my double crochets to the corner. So this is how we do the corner because we're going to increase. We do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. We do chain 2 because I want to have that gap where I'm going to put them all. And in that same corner, I'm going to do another 3 double crochets. So that's how I'm going to turn that corner. Okay, so now I'm going to again chain 1, and that's going to be my side. And then I'm going to go back in that next corner, and I'm going to do that into all the corners. 3 3 double crochets, 2 chains, and another 3 double crochets in the same corner. Now for the side again, I'm just doing 1 chain, and then I'm going into the last corner. Now I'm reaching that first corner where I started. So I'm going to go to the corner and do 3 double crochets into that corner. I'm going to do my chain 2, 1, 2, and I'm going to attach to that corner where I did the chain 3 stitches here by slip stitching in. So now you see that I've got my set of 4 in the center ring, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then now I've made my granny square is beginning to take shape by doing 2 stitches, 2 clusters, 2 clusters, 2 clusters, 2 clusters. So now I've grown. Now the next set, I'm going to chain 3 and put 2 double crochets here. Then I'm going to put chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 1, and we're going to continue that and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then we're going to go as big as we want, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to measure myself to know how big you want to make this granny square. Let me do another row so I can show you just exactly how that row goes. And then from then on, each row is going to be the same exact way. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 1, 3 double crochets into that side, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the corner, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, another 3 double crochets into that same corner, 1, 2, 3, then chain 1 and 3 double crochets into that side, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the corner, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, 3 double crochets again into the same corner, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the side, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the corner, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, 3 double crochets again into the corner, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the side, 2, 3, chain 1, 3 double crochets again into that first stitch, 1, 2, 3, 2 chains, 1, 2, and then slip stitch here into that first chain 3. And see how that's growing? And you don't have a ton of room in between each one, and that's good because I want it to be a tight square. As you see, each row you get more sides. So if you have 1, 2, 3 sides, you can do 1 cluster chain, 1 cluster chain, 1 cluster chain. In the corners, you'll always have 1 cluster chain 2, 1 cluster. That's what you'll have in the corners, and you'll get bigger and bigger as you go. Now let me go ahead and show you how I measure myself, finish my second square because I need 2 of these, and then we're going to do the outer edge and we're going to put them together so that way you can see how I do that. All right, friends, I've got my front and back panel. Now, the next couple measurements to take are these. You're gonna try to figure out how high you wanna sew up the sides. We're gonna add some width here. When we stitch it together, I'm going to add some single crochets around the whole thing. So you add about 1/2 inch on each side, so it'll get a little bit looser. But what I wanna know is how high up I wanna go here to close this casing for like my armpit area. You don't want it to be, if I close it all the way down, it's gonna go like this. So it's not gonna be high up. If you want like a tank version of this, this would be great. I mean a off-shoulder version, what is the word? I can't remember the word. But anyway, I want shoulders. So I'm going all the way up, and then I'm going to meet up the back and front right here. But I also obviously want to have a gap here for my arm. So I'm going to first figure out how high I want to go. And it feels like right here is a good stopping point, because I am going to have some single crochets here at the end to finish off the edges. So I don't want to go super high up, so it's like right on my armpit. So I want to make sure that it's the same on both sides. And so I'm going to mark that with a clip. I have a clip here. Actually, I like how high this one is. This one's a little bit higher than this one. Anyway, I marked a clip here. So then I'll be able to measure how many rows I'm going to go and close up this area. All right, so here's my 2 squares, and here's my measurements that I was talking about. So I've got from the top to where my arm is going to go in. So this is going to be the hole where my arm is going to go in. And I want to start right here is where I want to start. So I'm going to count how many clusters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clusters is going to be mine. And I'm going to do the same on this side when I'm ready to sew them together. But before I sew them together, I'm just going to write that down because I'll forget. 6 clusters from bottom. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to use this yarn and sew a couple squares here and match them up together. Well, let me try to take this apart first. All right, I'm going to start here at the corner. I'm just going to slip stitch into the corner and create my own stitches. 1, 2, 3, and then double crochets. 1, 2. So I create a cluster, and we're going to create like a few clusters here. So chain 1. I'm just adding more clusters here at the top. Chain 1. Chain 1. However wide you want to leave this here for your neckline, I think I'm going to do one more. All right, and then this is my neckline because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll come right here. I don't want to go any more narrow than that. Now I'm going to create, and when I get to this corner, I'm going to create a cluster by going 1, 2, 3. And I'm actually going to go right in here in this center right here. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 1, 2, 3. When I get here to the last one, I'm going to chain 1 and do a double crochet into the corner to kind of make that little piece right there. I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to do that cluster again here. 1, 2, chain 1, another cluster, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, another cluster, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and then the last one here. 1, 2, 3. And I feel like that's gonna be more than enough that I need here on my neck. And you can go ahead and kind of go, if you want to, try it on first so you don't end up doing the same thing I did. I'm just gonna kind of clip this here. You know what, let's go ahead and slip stitch it. So they're gonna be right sides together here at the corner. So I'm just gonna go ahead and slip stitch it using the same all the way through, and then I'm gonna try it on, because if it doesn't work, I can just pull it really quickly. It won't be that hard to take it apart. All right, so now that it's there, I'm gonna go try it on and see what I feel like it. Because if it works, then I'm gonna do the same on this side. It's getting dark outside and I really wanna finish this up, or at least keep working on it. I'm really excited about it. So I just went and had some ice cream, and now I'm back and I'm gonna try this on. And I actually think I really am gonna like it this way a lot better. I like it that it's higher, and it kind of blends in even more. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do the single crochet all the way around the neckline and then all the way around the whole bodice. And I'm gonna do 2 rows of single crochet, and then I'm going to sew the sides together by slip stitching into the sides. So let me try to find some black yarn, which I'm pretty sure I have some. But let me do the shoulder first, and then I'm gonna go look for some black yarn. All right. Love that for me. I think it turned out great. I'm gonna slip stitch 1 more stitch so it's close here to the edge. Even though when I single crochet all the way around, it'll match up really nicely. But I just wanna make sure that it's straight here. All right, and then I'm gonna trim this off. Now I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. So I did it on this side. I'm gonna do it on this side. I did 1 in the corner, 2, 3, 4 in. Let's use. No, I'm not gonna have enough of this yarn to do another project, so I'm just gonna try to use up the colors that I have so that they'll match nicely. This is gonna be my front patch. So we're gonna start here. I'm gonna start, because this is gonna be the front, I'm gonna start on this side. I went, see, I'm so bad, I gotta remember. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So we're gonna start right here. Slip stitch, chain 3, and that will be my first cluster. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 double crochets, 2, chain 1, create another cluster, 3 double crochets, 2, and you know what I did, I'm just gonna do it again. All right, so I think that's it, right? So then now I'm gonna flip it and stitch it on here. Slip stitch it just like I slip stitched the other one. right, here we are. Now I've got my shoulders here. Just make sure you pull tight on that so that they look good. This is the backs, this is the front. The front just kind of blends in seamlessly. The back is stitched on, so you can see a little bit of the stitching here. Try it on, make sure that the neck hole is big enough for you. And then we're gonna go ahead and do a row of single crochet here, and then a row of single crochet all the way around the outer edge. Did I come all the way to the corner? I did. All the way around the outer edges, 2 rows of single crochet all the way. And it's gonna be just single crochet in every single chain. And I'm gonna do that in black. All right, I've got my black yarn. And when I'm doing this, I'm gonna tucking all these little tails in there. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm gonna just slip stitch into the middle of the back. This is my front area. No, this is my front area. So I'm gonna do in the back, whichever your back is. And then I'm gonna go right in there and slip stitch in. And then I'm just gonna go single crochet all the way around. Single crochet in each stitch. And this is the same thing that I'm gonna do all the way around the outside. Now we slip stitch here at the end, but on my outer, we're just gonna go another round and then slip stitch. So let me go ahead and do this exact same thing to the whole outer. See how cute that's looking right there? I'm gonna do that whole exact same thing to the outer edges, and then we'll come back and sew them down here by slip stitching again here on the sides. And our vest will be basically done. All we'll have to do next is the ribbon at the bottom, and we'll have our vest. And obviously tie in the loose ends. But that's looking really cute. It's gonna be so cool. All right, so I am on my second row, and here's where I started. And I'm just, like I said, single crocheting all the way around. And then on that last stitch here, we're just gonna go where I started. We're gonna meet up and slip stitch in there. Now, I'm not going to cut off this because I'm going to start the ribbon here at the bottom, but I'm going to use some other yarn. I'm not gonna cut this one off because I'm just gonna go ahead and get started here to do the ribbon. But I still have to I have to sew this together, which means I have to slip stitch on the sides like we talked about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to face the front and back right sides together. And we said, when we measured how high I wanted this to close up, we said 6 clusters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to mark 6 cluster here, and then here another 6 clusters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then match those up. Match up all the clusters together and mark here where my 6th cluster is. because now I'm going to sew this together. You could sew it together with obviously thread on your sewing machine, however you want to do it. You can just use some some yarn, and just do a slip stitch all the way through, where you just go in here right at the corner and go through both stitches. And you kind of just do that slip stitch that we did on the shoulders, where you go in, come right out. It's like the purplish color of the yarn, so I don't know if it's gonna show a little bit, but we'll see. And I'm just going all the way through both stitches, coming throughout at the end, and matching them together. So make sure that they are the right stitches, that they're facing each other. All right, I'm here at the end. Remove that stitch and then follow it all the way through and join it and close it and then cut it off. And then you can tie these off when you're done, and you'll see that, whoop, when you look over here, I can kind of see that purple stitching, but that's all you can see, just a little bit of the purple fabric, and that's going to be your side right there. And this is your armhole where your sleeve's going to go through. Now, if you wanted to, you could leave this just like this. I'll try it on in a minute and show you what it looks like. You don't even have to do the ribbon at the bottom, but I am going to do the ribbon at the bottom. And here it looks like I didn't go far enough because I have this angle here, which I kind of like I really like that angle that it's doing here. So if you want that angle and you're not doing the ribbing, you can leave it a little bit empty, but obviously I need to go down a little bit more, so I'm going to use this right here and make sure it matches so that it is straight like so, because when I'm going to do the ribbing, I'm going to be using this single crochet row to do my ribbing. So I need it to be together. I need it to be straight. So I'm going to finish up the couple more stitches here because I didn't start right at the corner. Make sure you start right at the corner so it's matching, unless you want this to be split like this, which I think looks really cute on the side. You can do it that way. So let me do the same thing on the other side. So now our vest is basically done. Now all we're doing is this ribbing here at the bottom, and then tuck in our tails, and we'll be done. That's looking super, super cute. That looks so good. I love the bright color and then the black accents. So now for the ribbon, I want the ribbon to kind of bring the sweater in a little bit. So I'm going to go down from a 5mm hook. And actually, I'm trying to remember if I started with a 4mm and then I went up. No, it was a 5mm. 5mm hook, and we're gonna go down. I'm gonna go down, I think, to a 4. See if I have a 4. Feels like I only have a 4.5. Yeah, it looks like this. I have like smaller ones, but I think 425 is like the next one. I don't want to go too small. Where are all my hooks? Yeah, these other ones are way too small. I don't want to go that small. This one actually might be a 4. Let's just do a 425. 4.25, that's fine. But if you want a tighter, you might want to go down even smaller. I don't like to work with small hooks, so that's why I don't usually do much with the smaller hooks. But I'm gonna go try this vest on before I do the ribbing, so I can show you what it looks like. And then we're gonna start with the ribbon, which is gonna come right off here at the bottom. All right, so here it is on. This is how this side is the one that's kind of split open a little bit. Can't really see it because I'm wearing black today. But here is the end of it. It's a cropped version. Obviously, if you want it to be longer, you can always, or wider, or you know, like a little bit fuller, you can always go farther out. I'm going to attach in the info box below. I'm going to put in the information on how many rows I did on the square, so you can kind of gauge. I'm a size medium on t-shirts. So anyway, and it's looking really super cute. It fits great up here and at the armpit area. So now we're gonna go ahead and do that ribbing next. Again, if you wanted to stop here, you're more than done. Or how cute would it be to attach like a skirt piece to this? Like that would be super cute, like make it like a little dress. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to some of the ribbon. All right, I'm here where I started my whole row, and I'm gonna slip stitch. I had already done that, but it came apart. So here it is, my first row. I'm gonna start. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by doing a chain of how wide I want this band to be. So we're just gonna go. Okay, I just did 10. I think that that's wide enough here. So I did 10, and I'm gonna start with coming back over and doing a single crochet into that first, and single crochet in all of them all the way down. All right, now as you can see, there's 2 chains left here. So we're gonna do on the next one, we'll go through, and then on the last chain, we'll go in, through, come back out. We've got 2 loops here. We're gonna go in on the next chain, on the next stitch here. We're gonna go in through, and pull through all of them to finish that single crochet, and that will start that kind of stabilize that to the stitch. We're gonna go to the next stitch over to start the next row, and we're gonna slip stitch into it. Then we're going to turn our work, and we're going to go up, work up this row. The first stitch I'm going to do right at the base, and I'm just going to do a regular single crochet in there for more stability. And then the rest of them I'm going to do on the inside, the loop that's on the inside, not on this side, but on that side that's facing away from me. And we're just going to do that one on the back loop all the way up until that last stitch. On that last stitch, we're going to do a single crochet. So we're going to go on that back stitch. If you look at your stitches, they have a front and a back. We're going over here, and I'm just single crocheting into and on that last one, I'm just going to do a full single crochet on both of them. Okay, and now I'm going to turn, and I'm going to start on that first one. I'm gonna go a single crochet. Now, if you're used to chaining one, you can chain one. I'm not. I'm just gonna go ahead and do that single crochet here, and that's the start. And then I'm gonna do all the single crochets on that back loop. Again, we're going to the back, and that's how we start creating that ribbing. All right, I've got one left, so we're gonna go in and single crochet and pull it through. We're gonna go to the next stitch and pull it all the way through to finish that single crochet. So now it's there. Now we're going to slip stitch into that next one, bring it through, turn, and single crochet into that first single crochet there, and then I'm gonna single crochet into the back loops only. And we're just gonna repeat that back and forth all the way around. So it's gonna take a little while to do all the way around, but we're gonna go all the way around and then we're gonna see what that looks like. Okay, on that last one, we're doing both. There it is. All right. Let me continue and finish it all up, and then I'll tell you how we're going to meet it up at the end. All right, so now I'm down to my last row. So I'm gonna go in and single crochet in that first one, and then single crochet just in the back loop all the way up. And then on that last, we're gonna go in, bring the loop over, and then go to the next stitch, bring it all the way through. And what I'm going to do is, we're gonna go in there and slip stitch, and then I'm gonna face them right sides together. And what I'm doing here is just slip stitching into that back loop. So I just folded them right sides together. I'm gonna slip stitch right into that back loop and stitch them together. I know it's probably a little bit hard to see because it's black on black, but I'm just slip stitching right through those two. So I'm slip stitching into that first one here, and then the same on the back of the other one, and then slip stitching through it. So the next stitch, and then the next stitch over here on the other side, and then slip stitching through it. And I'm doing that all the way down. And you're gonna do it all the way to that last stitch, so it's a straight loop here, and then close it. See, on this side you can't even see it on either side, and on this side it just looks like another one of your ridges. I'm gonna close it off, tie it off, and then I'll weave that in. And now we've got to weave all the pieces in, will be done. I'm gonna start weaving them in. The way that I like to weave them in is I just kind of tie them off, slip stitch in and tie them off, but you can weave them in however you want to into the rest of the work. Sometimes I weave them into like the other stitches below it, so kind of like zigzag it through and then trim it. And I'm going to do that with all these little pieces of yarn everywhere, so that way it doesn't, you know, you don't have these threads just sticking out. And then we're done. I don't know where I put my little scissors, so I'm using these big old scissors that are broken. I think the little scissors are in here. Yep. How cute did this turn out? I'm gonna go try it on, take some pictures, see how this kind of is a little bit tighter here at the bottom because I went with the smaller hook. How cute does that ribbon look? This would be also really cute to make in just a plain color, like all one color would be really cute as well. I love how it turned out. I hope you enjoy it. Let me go take some pictures and show it how it looks on. And come back and join me for our other sew alongs. All right, we are finished. Here's our finished vest. I think it turned out super cute. I love the ribbon here at the bottom. I think the fit is spot on. And it wasn't too difficult because the granny square sews up so quickly. The ribbon sewed up super quick. So it's a really quick and fun little thing to do. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you're going to give this vest a try. If you do, please come join me on Instagram at IG and tag me so I can see your makes. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my other tutorials. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. Bye.